Hello, I wanted to do a quick Barksdale virtual classroom experience to walk you through how to do your essay outline for the European history final. Obviously, this will be a simple overview. If you have any more deeper questions or seek more knowledge, don't hesitate to email me and I will gladly respond to you on an individualized basis. So, to start off with, in the box, this is the entire coverage of what your essay will encompass. Everything you're trying to prove is in relation to this question: what factors contributed to the development of civilization of Western Europe up through the Middle Ages. And what I'd like you to do is, as you develop your thesis, you're going to say political, military, social, and economic factors contributed to the development of civilization. So when you create your thesis, make sure to specify the types of factors. We're going to narrow in onto specific lenses. And in case you don't know what words to add, it's these words right here: political, military, social, and economic would be the areas that you're going to look at. So you want to make that part of your thesis statement. Put those words before you actually develop the actual thesis. So right away, that should be the first thing that you do. And that would go down here in the thesis spot. This should look a little familiar based on the Pericles essay. The difference is we're not going to be analyzing a primary source. So you won't have a 1A like we did in Pericles. This will simply go from A to specs to analysis. Excuse me. So right away, develop your thesis and classify your factors. And what you're going to do is basically the intention of this essay is almost an overview review of the work that you've done this trimester. You've done a substantial amount of writing, focus, and a lot of it has been directed around this question. So a lot of what I'm asking is nothing new. I'm not introducing new ideologies. Instead, I'm going to ask you to reflect on the facts that you have and create a well-developed writing piece that will promote the knowledge that you've gained from these 12 weeks that you've been in this class. So in order to do that, you're going to notice next that it says proof areas. You're going to need to develop 3 comprehensive sentences, each one about ancient Greece. So you would say ancient Greece impact, or there were many factors, political and military factors that occurred in ancient Greece leading up to that influenced the development of Western Europe, period. Then you would say there are many political, social, and military factors that occurred in ancient Rome that developed Western Europe, developed civilization in Western Europe. So you need to turn these proof area statements into sentences that will encompass the types of factors that you're going to talk about. And in case you're not sure, look back up at the box and it tells you the 3 types of factors or 2 types of factors that you're going to cover. Now you're going to notice that there are 3 for Rome and Middle Ages and only 2 for ancient Greece. You did a substantial writing piece in ancient Greece that I don't feel like I need to have you recover that information. I think Pericles is memorable enough. So the only areas that I really want you to take away from this class in the sense of expansion of development of civilization are direct democracy and Alexander and the Hellenistic culture. Not because Pericles is not important, but you did a substantial essay that you don't need to rehash. Okay? All right, then you're going to go down to the body section of the essay outline. What you're going to notice is that this A statement, remember the rule from the Pericles outline, this A statement should go next to your 2. This B statement should go next to your Roman numeral 3, and this C statement should go next to Roman numeral 4. For the Pericles outline, I had you develop the proof area statements and they matched up with your Roman numerals. Make sure to follow that trend again because this will actually be the introduction sentence of your body paragraph. It's really important to remember that step. Then you're going to go into starting to complete the body of the outline. So the first thing you're going to cover for A under ancient Greece is direct democracy. I want you to find a well-developed, concise, unbiased, detailed fact about direct democracy that you believe would be a good piece of evidence to prove that direct democracy impacted or influenced the development of civilization in Western Europe. Simply putting a definition is not going to work. You need to find an example of direct democracy in action. I hope that you saved your Pericles resources, especially the ones on government. Those can be used as part of this evidence collection. So yes, I know I said we're ignoring Pericles, but those would be great resources to pull from when you're talking about direct democracy in Athens. Okay. Once you put the fact, make sure to put the citation. The citation is going to be dependent upon where you find it. If it's a worksheet, you need to put the title. Most of the worksheet readings that I give you have a source citation at the end, so make sure to put that. If it's something from my lecture notes, make sure you put Barksdale notes, etc. You are not allowed to use Google for any evidence collection. It must come from all of the paperwork that we've done this trimester. The idea of this is I'm not asking you to find something new. I want you to reflect on what you've already learned. Okay. So please don't forget that step. Your A statement. Remember, your A statement is a funnel. It funnels from this introduction sentence for the body paragraph into introducing your specs. So you could say one of the political facets that developed civilization was direct democracy, period. So you're going to notice what I've done is I've taken words from the overarching question and I've funneled it down to introduce to the reader what my specs will be about. Okay. Then your analysis statement. Remember, the intention of the analysis is to actually explain how the specs that you chose supports the thesis. So whatever specs you chose about direct democracy, for instance, if I talked about the idea that direct democracy promoted all people being allowed to serve on a jury, I would need to explain, individuals serving on a jury develop civilization because why, and then finish the thought. This is your because statement. This is a very, very important piece to supporting the thesis. And this is what your entire Comp 1 grade for the essay is based around. Now, I will remind you that this entire outline needs to be completed the day before the final, and it is a graded part of your final. This needs to be your own work. Do not collaborate. Do not take other people's ideas. If there is any question of plagiarism on this essay, then I will give both you and the person that I think are responsible for the cheating a 0. This is a final exam, and we want to make sure we keep the integrity of it as is. You're going to follow the trend of matching the letter to the topic. So for your B for ancient Greece, it would be Alexander the Great and Hellenistic culture. You just need to find an example about something Alexander did within the Hellenistic culture that would promote the idea that it led to the development of civilization. Your textbook can help you with this. I would be careful not to really, I'm not asking you to form an opinion about Alexander like you did with the debate. So keep this unbiased. For Rome, your A section would be about the Roman Republic. Your B would be about the Roman family, some aspect of the Roman family that developed civilization, and the military would be something about their empire expansion. This is a really important idea. I'm not asking you to talk about what you did for your project. Empire expansion would be something based around the Roman military. Use the Roman military notes that we did from the Roman foot soldiers, and those may help you with their empire expansion. Your early Middle Ages, your political is feudalism, manorialism is your economic. And then depending on your topic it's either going to be social or military, depending on what your topic was. Castles and knights would be military, whereas nobles or the church would be based around social. So just be careful when you're doing your C statement to refer to whichever of those two that it's applicable to. Okay. And then your closing, I've given you kind of a feedback for how to develop your closing. Refer back to Pericles in case you have any questions. But your closing, your A, you restate the main idea of the thesis. You remind the readers of the 3 proof areas in relation to the areas that you spoke of. So in this sentence, you would remind the readers that you talked about ancient Greece, you talked about ancient Rome, and you talked about the early Middle Ages. And then finally, you need to give a thought about the development of Western Europe and kind of what does it mean? What is development of civilization? Why is it so important? Be careful not to introduce a new thesis. Just bring a closure to everything that you've talked about. Okay, so like I said, this was kind of a basic overview of what you're doing. If you have really deeper questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I want to make sure you understand what's going forward. And remember, this is a huge part of your grade, so please take it seriously, both the outline and then when you reformat it the day of the test into an actual essay, both of those will be graded as part of your final experience. Good luck, take your time, and let me know if you have any questions.